Hey teachers, I think it is safe to say that no matter what position you work in as a teacher or in education, your life is probably extremely busy. So finding ways to save time is so important. And one really simple way that you can save time is by using Google Chrome extensions. So today in this video, I'm going to go over my top 10 favorite Google Chrome extensions. These are ones that I use all the time and ones that my teacher friends use all the time. And I really believe that if you take advantage of using these, you will be able to save time and you'll also be able to come up with creative ways to engage students virtually. So let's go ahead and get started. So the inspiration for this video came from another video that I did a couple weeks ago on my channel all about Google Slides add-ons, which are another way that you can save time inside of Google Slides. And that video is linked in the description, but after we posted that video, I received so many emails thanking me for that and also asking a little bit about Google Chrome extensions. So that's why I decided that I would cover those in this video today. And this is actually going to be a two-part video. In this video, I'm going to go over the best Google Chrome extensions for you to use as an educator. And then in next week's video, I'm going to go over the best Google Chrome extensions for your students to be using. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure to do that so that way you get notified when that video becomes available as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Before I dive in to my top 10 favorite Google Chrome extensions, I want to make sure you know how to install extensions on your Chrome browser and then how to access those extensions once they are installed. So let's go ahead and jump on my computer real quick and I'm going to show you how to do that before we get into my top 10 list. Once you're inside of your Chrome browser, you are going to go to the Chrome web store and it should be the first thing that comes up in Google, so you'll just click on that. Once you are inside of the web store, you're going to use this search bar in the top left-hand corner and you're just going to type in whatever extension you're looking for. You can also scroll through and look at ones that are popular and ones that it suggests, but I'm going to start by searching for one that I use. And so then it will give you a list of options. I'm going to click on the one that I want, and then to install it, I'm just going to click Add to Chrome. And you'll click Add Extension. Sometimes it will ask you to create an account or do something like that. Like you can see here, it's asking me to sign up with my Google account, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, you will know that something or an extension is installed in your Chrome browser because you'll notice that it changes to Remove from Chrome. So this tells me that it's already there. Now, to look up and see what extensions you already have, you're going to click on this puzzle icon up here, and it is going to give you a list of all of the extensions that you have on your Chrome. So if you'll notice right now, Insert Learning that I just installed, it's not listed up here on my browser. If I want it to be listed up here so I can get to it a little bit quicker, I can click on this blue pen and you'll notice that it goes up there. And if I want to take it away, I would just click on the blue pen again. So that is how you are going to access all of your extensions once they're installed. All right, so now that you know how to install and access extensions, let's go ahead and get into some of my favorites. The first one that I want to share with you is Go Full Page. And Go Full Page is probably one of the extensions that I use the most. It allows you to take a snapshot of an entire article or an entire web page and convert that into a PDF. So I'm going to show you exactly how to use it right now. Okay, so let's say you have a student with an IEP and it requires that you print all articles rather than having them look at the articles on the computer. So you can use Go Full Page for this. And all I'm going to do is I have Go Full Page saved up here. So I'm going to click on it and it is capturing the entire page for me. So now you can see it like this. You can either download it to your computer as an image by clicking here. I usually like to download it as a PDF. And so you'll see now I have a PDF of this article about Rosa Parks, so I can print this and give it to my student. I find this to be extremely helpful. So a question that I have been getting a lot over the past year are, what are some of the best programs to create screen captures for your screen? So many people are teaching virtually right now, and they want to create presentations for students where they model how to do something using their computer screen. Well, I've got not one, but 2 great Google Chrome extensions that will allow you to capture videos and screen captures of your screens. The first one is Screencastify, and the second one is Loom. Both of these are very easy to use, and they also come with simple editing tools. So after you do record your screen, you can go into their editing features and trim it in certain areas and make little adjustments, but the editing tools aren't super complicated like a lot of video editing platforms are if you don't have experience with video editing. Now, Screencastify, I have used that one many times, and it is free. Loom normally is paid, but at the time of filming this video, they are offering it for free for teachers and students. So those are 2 great, easy options that you can look into if you need to record your screen to create virtual presentations. Have you ever found a great article or web page that you would like your students to read, and it's got a lot of great information, but then you wish there was some way that maybe they could interact with that information a little bit more, or ways that you could test their comprehension as they go through that page? Well, all of that is now possible with the extension Insert Learning. This will allow you to insert questions, discussions for groups, or even videos and pictures directly into an existing web page. Okay, so I have this Time for Kids article pulled up that I want my students to read about a new monument that honors some of the suffragettes. So I opened Insert Learning. You can see it over here, and I did that just by clicking on the puzzle and then clicking on the Insert Learning extension. And now this is going to allow me to make this article more interactive for my students so that they can answer questions and get more information along the way. So I want to show you each of the tools. You've got Highlight Text. So I could go through and highlight important information that I want the students to see as they read. I really like this Insert a Sticky Note. So basically, I click on the Insert Sticky Note, and then I click on the paragraph, and whatever paragraph I click on, the sticky note is going to go immediately after that paragraph. So now I can either type in additional information, I can add images. I have a link to a YouTube video about Susan B. Anthony. So they see here that Susan B. Anthony is one of the women that are attached to this monument. So now they can watch a video and learn a little bit more about her. Another thing you can do is you can click on Insert a Question. You're going to do the same thing, and then by clicking on a paragraph and then adding the question. So this will give you stems that you can choose from. So you can either pick one of these stems that have already been created, or you can type your own question. So I can type, what women are included on the monument, and then click Create. You can also insert a discussion. So I'm going to go to the end and I'm going to create a discussion topic. So let's say, who is another woman who should be included? So they can think of another suffragette and maybe add her to this monument. Now you've got lots of other options here. One thing I like to do is view as the student. So now I'm looking at this the way the students will see it. So this is exactly what my students will see. They can type their answers here. But yeah, these are kind of the main features. But like I said, it's a great way to take an article and just make it more interactive for your students. In my Google Slides add-on video, I talked about an add-on just for Google Slides that will allow students to translate the content from a slide into different languages. And I create curriculum for a lot of ESL students. I work for one ESL company, and so being able to translate content is something that's very important for me. And so I have been looking for an extension that could do something similar to that Google Slide add-on that I shared with you in that video, which is linked in the description. And what I have recently discovered is Reverso. Reverso will allow you to take the text content from just about any web page, and at the time of filming this video, it could be translated into 15 different languages, including Spanish, French, Chinese, and many more. All right, so I am in Newsela right now, which is a site I know a lot of you use to share articles and content with students. So let's say I have an ESL student in my class and they are struggling to read this. What they can do if they have Reverso installed in their browser is they can highlight a sentence or a paragraph, and if they come up here and click on the extension, you will see that it now translates this into Spanish for them. And let's say you have a student that speaks something other than Spanish. You can just click up here. So we'll start with English, and then we want it to go to, let's say, Chinese, or we want it to translate to French. You can translate it back and forth between any language that you want. All right, so the next two Google Chrome extensions that I want to share with you are not necessarily ones that are going to enhance education, but they are going to engage students just because they're fun. So the next one is Emoji Keyboard, and this is a keyboard that will allow you to insert emojis when you are typing text through the internet, whether it's in an email, whether it's in a Google Doc, a Google Slide, anything like that, you can add emojis to it. Now, I do recommend that you do not go overboard with the emojis because then it can get a little distracting. But inserting a few here and there can be a really great way to get your students' attention. So I have this morning message typed out for my students, and I want them to be able to either see it on the board when they walk into class or see it as soon as they log into our Zoom meeting. But I'd like to add some emojis in here just to make it a little more fun and catch their attention. So I'm going to click on some of the places where I want to add emojis, and I'm going to click on my emoji keyboard. And what's nice about this is you can click on the different headings to search for things, or you can just hit search and type what you want. So I am going to pick one of these moon phases, and I clicked on it, which copied it, and then I just clicked on Control V to paste it in here. And let's see, I'm going to add a star right here. So this time I'm going to search for stars, and I'm going to go for this one. So it's copied it, and now I'm just going to click where I want and click Control V, and it put the shooting star in there. So this is just a fun way to add those emojis into your docs, your slides, your emails, whatever you're typing out for students. All right, the next fun one I have for you is GIF for Chrome. And we all know that our students really love GIFs. They're just silly, short little videos that might be a couple seconds long and they play on repeat. And this will allow you, in the same way that Emoji Keyboard allowed you to put emojis in your emails and your Google Docs and things like this, that will allow you to put GIFs in those things as well. So this is just another fun way to catch your students' attention. Okay, so this is the morning message that I showed you just a minute ago, and now I want to add a GIF to the end of it just to make it a little more fun and engaging for my students. So to do that, I'm going to click on my extensions and find that one. And then you can see in here, I already typed in moon and searched for it, and there's all these moon GIFs that came up. So now I'm just going to click on the one that I want, and then I am going to drag it and drop it where I want in this Google Doc. And so now you can see that GIF is part of my morning message. This is just a little something to make students laugh as they start their day. Okay, the next extension I want to share with you is one that is great for virtual learning, and that is Tab Resize. Tab Resize will allow you to take all of those tabs that you have open in your Chrome browser, and it will allow you to display up to 4 of them on your screen at the same time. So you can arrange them so that anywhere from 2 to 4 tabs are showing at once. I'm going to show you on my computer. how to do that, and then some different suggestions for how this could be helpful when you're teaching remotely. So let's say I have my students in 4 different breakout rooms and I really need to be able to monitor each one. I can click on my tab resize extension, and it's going to give me options for how I can divide up those screens. So I can do 4, and then I would be able to monitor all of my students at one time. Anytime I want to go back to just the regular screen, I'm going to click on the extension again and click one screen. I also really like the 1x2 screen if I have 2 articles pulled up with the same information, but different articles. I can have each one pulled up at the same time and have my students compare and contrast those articles. Another extension that's very helpful for distance learning is Night Shift Redux. And what this is going to do is it is going to dim your screen as it gets later in the day. You can also go in and use custom settings to dim it really any time that you want to, so that it will just dim automatically. And why it is important to do that is because with so many teachers teaching virtually, we're spending hours more than what we normally do on the computer, and that can create eye strain. It can create headaches. There's been some studies that show the blue light from computers aren't great for us. By dimming those lights a little bit, it can help with things like the eye strain, the headaches, and the blue light. So this is great if you're spending a lot of time on the computer during the day, especially if it's more time than what you're used to. Now, I've shared on this channel before that I have transitioned a few years ago from teaching in a classroom to working full-time in curriculum development. And one thing that is so important for curriculum developers is that when we're developing content and when we're writing textbook, is that the content that we are creating is on an appropriate reading level for the students that we are creating it for. So whenever I'm writing a textbook, whenever I'm writing digital content, I'm constantly checking the reading levels on what I'm writing, because if I'm writing something for a 5th grade student, but it's on a 9th grade reading level, it's really not a good curriculum, or it's really not a good textbook. So I love the extension Crafty Level because it will tell me the Flesch Kincaid level of any passage that I am either typing out online or an article that I am reading. And this can be really helpful to classroom teachers as well, because if you find an article or something online that you think might be helpful for your students, you can use this tool to find out what the reading level is, to make sure the reading level is on target with where your students are reading at. Okay, so I have found this article about volcanoes on National Geographic, and I think it might be a good one to share with my students, but I need to make sure that the reading level is where my students are at. So to check it, I'm just going to highlight all of the text that I want to get the Flesch Kincaid reading level for. So this is the whole article right there. And then I am going to click Crafty Level up here, and you will see a little number appear, 7.8. So this tells me this has a Flesch Kincaid reading level of 7.8. So now I know, okay, well, this is probably a little advanced for my students, so I might need to find another article about volcanoes for them, or I might say, okay, this is right on target with where my students are reading at, and this is perfect for them. All right, we have made it to the 10th and final Google Chrome extension. Thank you to each of you who have stuck all the way through this video. And the 10th and final one that I have for you is Google Docs Quick Create. And this one is awesome if you've ever been working or teaching and you need to just very quickly pull up a new Google Doc, slide, or sheet. This saves you a lot of time because you don't have to go through your Google Drive and then open a new doc, or you don't have to type Google Docs in the browser and search for it. You will literally just click on the extension and it will open a new presentation for you. All right, let's say I'm working in Chrome and all of a sudden I'm reading about volcanoes, and I think, you know what, I'm just gonna turn this information into a presentation for my students. All I'm gonna do is click on the extension icon up here. It's gonna give me a list, basically, what do you want to create? I'm gonna click on New Presentation, and it's gonna open up a new Google Slides presentation for me instantly. There's no jumping through hoops or having to go to my Drive or typing in Google Slides in the search bar. It just pulls it straight up. So there you have it, guys. Those are my top 10 Google Chrome extensions for teachers in 2021. And I know there are other Google Chrome extensions out there that you guys are using that I haven't mentioned. These are my favorites, but I'm sure you have personal favorites too. So if you have a personal favorite that I didn't mention in this video, make sure to list it in the comment below. It's definitely super helpful for everybody watching just to be able to go through and see what other educators are doing. And then after you do that, make sure to subscribe to this channel and give this video a big thumbs up. Remember, like I said, next week I'm going to be releasing a second part to this video, which are going to be some of the best Google Chrome extensions for your students. So when you subscribe to this channel, you'll be notified as soon as that video is released, because especially if your students are learning virtually, these Chrome extensions are really going to help them. So until next time, happy teaching!